everything we learned making tires for the grueling demands of NASCAR inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. Back at the Hollywood Hotel getting ready for round 2. You got Dale Earnhardt Jr., Brad Keselowski in the mix to see who are the two on the front row. Of course, Thursday, the dual races will set the complete field. So let's go back upstairs to Darrell, Jeff, and Mike.
Chris, incredibly, a 46.80 made it. A 46.87 did not. Now, the last 9 drivers to run were the 9 fastest in practice, but only 2 of them advanced.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things. I think the wind possibly picked up. Looked like the flag was standing out a little straighter. The other thing is the fluids in the car. I can't tell you, Jeff knows this, and we saw it in practice. The first time you go out, you run a decent lap. The second time you go out, you always pick up. So I think those guys at the back of the field, their fluids were cooler, their hubs, their brakes, their transmission, everything about it was just a little wee bit cooler. So this one, and the cars are all inspected the same. They all go through there, they come out on the line, they're the same. So I think conditions is what made the difference.
Now, we've had 14 different drivers win the pole in the last 14 years. That doesn't mean 14 different cars or crew chiefs, though.
Yeah, there's a very good chance that this could be, if Chase Elliott wins this pole, this could be 3 years in a row for the 24 team at Hendrick Motorsports and Alan Gustafson, which he puts a tremendous amount of detail and effort with his team, the engineers and aerodynamicists and engine builders, to come down here. He's a local guy from Ormond Beach, Florida. This means a lot to those guys to come down here and lead this field to green for the Daytona 500.
Well, the last crew chief to win 3 straight poles here, Bill Elliott's brother, Ernie.
Wow.
So,
rare territory. That's in my era.
Ryan Newman would love to add a Daytona 500 pole to his resume to go along with that win, but barring a combo money cloud and a hurricane, can your Chevrolet go from 9th to 1st?
Well, we added 8.5 ounces of Coke, so hopefully that makes a difference too. But you know, really, it's the mercy of what you have, and somebody making a little mistake here and there. And I don't know that we can pick up 8 spots or a 10th and a half or whatever it was, but we're going to try with the Caterpillar Chevrolet, no less.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Matt.
Half a
Ryan
tenth.
takes a switch.
Ryan,
Is that switch worth half a tenth? I'm not sure.
Half a tenth. That's all you need, brother.
Larry Mack?
Yeah, Mike, I've noticed a lot of cars bottoming out, and your biggest culprit in running fast is that rear spoiler on the back of that car. Anything you can do to get that rear spoiler out of the air helps the speed. NASCAR mandates the rate of the rear spring, and they issue the rear shocks. So one thing I noticed that may have been causing the bottoming out, remember the tires is just a spring, and they have a spring rate. They were really lowering the air pressure in those rear tires, and I think that maybe hurt some cars. I saw Kyle Larson, who really bottomed out bad.
Yeah, and you can see in the left rear tire a little bit of wrinkling when that air pressure's down and that car's being pushed down the back. Now, just then, I noticed the 13 car, I don't know, were they allowed to adjust air pressures for this round 2? I did not see as much of that buckling in the sidewall as we saw this 13 car go by.
Well, we saw Joey Logano do a burnout. You know, I don't know if he was trying to build pressure or trying to build heat, but it didn't help him that much.
You would think that you wouldn't want to build heat. You'd think that would help get the car down even more.
So Ty Dillon is the first of these 12 drivers on the clock, the fastest of whom will win the pole for the Daytona 500. And of these 12, we only have 3 chances at a repeat pole winner. Chase Elliott, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Martin Truex.
We see what Ty did when he left pit. I think leaving the pits is critical. You got to get up to speed, and he tore out of the pits, got up next to that wall, and rode the wall coming around there to get the green.
Especially with that headwind, I think getting the maximum amount of RPM and momentum is really important now.
He was the 21st driver on the clock in round 1, 47.009. That's about 13 hundredths slower than his first round speed.
Yeah.
And the only thing I can think of is if the water temp got a little bit hot on that second half, or the final half of that lap there, that can definitely cause you some speed. I would think everything else, having oil and the other temps up, would only help you. As we're seeing right here with Kevin Harvick, he's in the green.
He was the 23rd driver to take time. Chase Elliott, who is fastest, was the 22nd of 42 drivers on the clock.
Yeah. I know these guys are, Kevin and Bobby Childers' crew chief. I know they came down here with high expectations, but I think they've exceeded expectations myself. the jump from the Chevrolet and all the support they got from Hendrick Motorsports over to this team, over to these Ford cars, built them in-house themselves. That's a pretty big change.
He's exceeding expectations right now. It's going to be a pretty good lap, I believe.
But you're right.
Harvick is fast as 46.829.
Back in the 8s.
It's quite possible this could come down to thousandths of a second.
So that's a pickup of 4/100ths for Harvick.
Yeah.
Casey Kane in a Hendrick Chevrolet, 10th fastest in round 1. Where he was the 36th of 42 drivers on the clock.
See a little sparking coming out of the right side of his car. Nothing serious.
He's kind of pulling it back now. He lost a little bit of speed going into turn 1, but now he's gaining it back down the back straightaway. Now going back, losing just a little bit. I mean, it's really close, but boy, it's really falling off there.
Yeah, I think the car looks tight or something. It seems like it's moving up off the bottom a little bit.
That's the key stat right there, is that differential between this lap and his first lap. Kane is second, 46.853.
He did pick up a tiny bit, but just not as much as Kevin Harvick did.
Yeah, you're going to have to run in the 80s. Probably an 8.0.
I think you're going to have to run in the high 70s.
I think an 80 will do it.
And here's the rocket, Ryan Newman, South Bend, Indiana. Going to run his 16th Daytona 500 on Sunday, the 2008 winner.
Jeff, we broke out our Hawkeye system, and you can adjust air pressures between round 1 and round 2, so I would have to believe that they let that air pressure back down. I just don't think there's no way, even with the cool-down machines, you can get that engine as ice cold as when you left that garage area for first round.
Yeah, that's a good point, and they may have adjusted the air pressure based on how much the car was bottoming out. If it was bottoming out too much, maybe they decided to add a little bit of air pressure.
Driving a Chevrolet for newly minted NASCAR Hall of Famer Richard Childress. Newman is third, 46.87. That's a drop off of a little less than 2/100ths from round 1.
I know you guys, I don't know how you feel, but I like this kind of qualifying. I call it rapid fire. You know, as soon as one goes by, you send another. One goes by, you send another. You got a car on the track all the time, and it goes by pretty quick.
Well, and I also like the way that they line the cars up. It's based on speed from practice, so it's usually slowest to fastest, not always, but and then you get to see how people back up their times in qualifying versus in practice, and then we're going to do that again. We reset it where the slowest to fastest.
Kyle Busch, like most drivers, taking the high line in turn 1 and 2 on his get up to speed lap.
And the wider you can make that corner, the longer you can make this get up lap, the more speed you should have when you get to the start finish line to start your lap.
Yeah, drop that thing down. You see him come off turn 4, you drop it down when he gets to the start finish line, and then the yellow line becomes your best friend.
Yeah, then it's exact opposite, as Michael Waltrip pointed out earlier. Then it's all about making the shortest line around this racetrack as possible.
And see, that's where the people say, well, a driver can't make much difference. I totally disagree. When we're this close on qualifying, the times are this close, you run a little higher here, a little low there, you do a few things in the car, you can knock a few hundredths out of it and cost yourself a pole.
The one area that I thought you could maybe have a difference is if you put a little bit too much wheel to it on the exit of the corner as you get to that straightaway. Your goal is to try to unwind the wheel as fast as possible because the car is going to go faster in a straight line.
Look, but he is riding that yellow line. I mean, he took the green, he went right on that yellow line. Kyle Busch in the 18 car, and he's staying on that yellow line all the way around the corner. Now look, all the way right next to it. I just think shortest distance got to make a little difference.
Fourth for Kyle Busch, 46.93, and he falls